following toxic advice. Now, I'm not going to say the bitch's name. I deleted all my videos about her. But there's a lot of young, gullible women following her. And this is what happens when you take her advice.
Y'all have never seen me make any videos about Sheraseven. None. Even though people keep asking me. I keep turning it down to commentary, and the only thing that I actually say when somebody asks me is I think her message is dangerous.
Sprinkle mentality.
If anybody marries somebody after 1 week, they dumb. I'm sorry. Sprinkle. If you dumb enough to do that, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry. But if you're sitting out there, you learned everything from me. Did you learn how to be smart? I think a lot of people are mad about that because they want to discredit my message. Well, why are you listening to someone that's not married or single? Ma'am, I've been married for 17 plus years.
There is an update to the new trophy wife video. People of the opinion that she knew all along. They said they believe it was obvious, it was clear, and they also made reference to a certain video of hers that she made, and they heard her kids crying in the background and she did not bother going to check on them.
Ow. You know, there's that saying, when you get sick and tired,
she didn't even
being sick and tired, that's when you'll make a change, and that's very true.
Based on that and other reasons best known to them, they drew conclusion and said she knew all along. They also did some research on her husband. We'll talk about that later on in this video. Towards the end of this video, make sure you watch at the very end so you don't miss out. But before then, let's talk about the drama surrounding the mentors, the Sheraseven, Princella, the Queenmaker, spiritual whistleblower. They all had something to say about this incident, and Sheraseven is being criticized. Let's talk about that first before the main update. Sprinkle lady, I'm talking about Sheraseven. Before the new trophy wife video went viral and everyone started talking about it, there was this existing drama between Sheraseven and spiritual whistleblower. The fact that the new trophy wife mentioned Sheraseven as one of her mentors got a lot of people criticizing her teachings and calling it dangerous. If you're not aware of what Sheraseven's teachings are about, a part of her teachings are about hypergamy. She coaches women on how to get rich men. Given that the new trophy wife mentioned her in her video, Sheraseven felt the need to come clear her name because she was being dragged and heavily criticized. But before I get right into that, I would love us to hear what the spiritual whistleblower has to say about Sheraseven and her teachings regarding the new trophy wife viral video, and also what Princella the Queenmaker has to say about Sheraseven's teachings regarding the new trophy wife video. Let me say this, the focus of this video is not about the whole drama, but about the dangers of marrying a financial provider as a man.
Okay, you guys keep requesting that I speak on the story about Isis. She's also formerly known as the new trophy wife. I've been hearing a lot about the story. I did see her on YouTube. I didn't sit through the whole thing. I couldn't sit through the whole thing. So this is what I've come to learn, and if I'm wrong at any point, you guys feel free to correct me in the comment section. I stand corrected if I mess up any parts of the story, but my understanding is this woman was following a certain female content creator, trying to get advice on how to get a provider husband, that lifestyle, and she ended up marrying a man that SA'd her daughters. She has 2 daughters, correct? That's what I'm hearing. The man that she married took advantage of her children. And it's funny that her name is the new trophy wife. She wanted that trophy wife image. She wanted to be with a rich man, a provider man, and she married a monster. Listen, I'm not going to bring up any names because the past few days I went in hard on a female content creator who teaches women how to play manipulation games to get a provider man. I stand by what I say. When you play manipulation games to try to get a man's money, what you don't realize is men are highly competitive. If he gives you his money, buys you gifts, if he even marries you and provides for you, there is a cost. Most of these men, if not all men, are narcissistic, sociopathic, period. And they are 100% transactional. You cannot play tit for tat mind games thinking you're going to get over on a man once you get his money. He will seek to get revenge. Nothing is free. Nothing is free when it comes to a man. This is why the domestic violence rate in the African American community is sky high. These black men are unaliving us left and right. They're harming our children. I turn on the news. You know, you see these stories where the black man will come and use his pew-pew to not only unalive his ex-girlfriend, but he'll wipe out the whole family. I saw a story where the ex-boyfriend, he unalived his ex-girlfriend, her mother, and the 2 children together. Men are vengeful. They're in constant competition with us, and you are to leave them alone and make your own money. The problem with women, pick-me women, I'm not going to say all women, I'm going to say pick-me. Pick-me women are always chasing money and men. Pick-me women are thirsty and desperate for marriage because they think marriage is some sort of measurement of success. That's what society has taught us, and a lot of our toxic grandparents and parents have taught us the same thing, and it's wrong. Marriage is a trap. Marriage and getting a woman pregnant will trap her indefinitely to be subservient to an abusive man. The married women that have been in long-term marriages are usually miserable. They'll sell you a fucking pipe dream and have you thinking that that's the way. Get you a provider man. But there's a cost. He's dragging her ass behind closed doors. She's not going to post it on social media, but she's dealing with his bullshit behind closed doors. I'm sick of women being young, dumb, and gullible. You're either going to get your ass beat, your children are going to pay the price, they're going to get abused and or SA'd, or you're going to get put 6 feet under fucking ground following toxic advice. Now, I'm not going to say the bitch's name. I deleted all my videos about her. But there's a lot of young, gullible women following her. And this is what happens when you take her advice.
Y'all have never seen me make any videos about Sheraseven. None. Even though people keep asking me, I keep turning it down to commentary, and the only thing that I actually say when somebody asks me is I think her message is dangerous because women don't know what they're doing, and Shera's talking to a bunch of women that don't know nothing, and Shera's not teaching women about men. I ultimately say that her message is dangerous for women.
Now, I love me a nice sprinkle kiki, but I am genuinely terrified for younger and impressionable women in our society who run with the whole sprinkle provider male mentality, and that's literally all they're searching for in a potential suitor. I watched the Trophy Wives video, and as a mom myself, my heart absolutely breaks for her and her family. But I love that this has sparked a conversation about the detriments to the sprinkle mentality, the provider male mentality, and just things that we as women need to be careful and look out for when choosing to date with a hypergamous mindset. Provision does not start and end with finances. A man providing for you financially is truly the bare minimum. And I think that's why as women, it's so important to develop yourself financially, emotionally, spiritually, because I think that gives you the clarity to really see that like financial provision is the bare minimum that I could ever ask for from a man. How is that man protecting me spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically? Is he a man capable of providing the fatherly characteristics that I would need for my children? I think the problem with this sprinkle thing is that a lot of women are dating out of desperation. And when you date and marry out of desperation, what you see, you see. For my younger ladies out there, Louis is not worth the detriment to your mental health. Louis is not worth the devastation it can cause to your children and your children's children. The man you choose to partner with will either propel you further into your destiny or hold you back and truly be the cause for your destruction. Choose wisely.
Okay, we've all heard what they had to say about the mentor, Sheraseven. And let's hear what Sheraseven has to say. She decided to reply the last speaker, that last clip. She did not reply the spiritual whistleblower, Princella, the queenmaker. I think Princella's video came late, and that of the spiritual whistleblower. I doubt if she was going to reply her. Like I said, they've been fighting online, if you get what I mean. So let's hear what Sheraseven has to say.
The Trophy Wives video, and as a mom myself, my heart absolutely breaks for her and her family. But I love that this has sparked a conversation about the detriments to the sprinkle mentality.
If anybody marries somebody after 1 week, they dumb. I'm sorry. Sprinkle. If you dumb enough to do that, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry, but if you're sitting out there, you learned everything from me. Did you learn how to be smart? Did you learn how not to be desperate? You didn't learn from me. Did you hear when I said stop being desperate? Did you hear when I said don't be a pygmisha? Did you hear when I talked about background checks? Did you hear when I talked about all this other stuff? About not dealing with men if you have kids until they're old and grown enough to speak for themselves and be in school and whatnot. Did you not hear when I said all of that? Don't blame me. I tell people all the time, don't say my name if you are desperate and being pygmisha. Don't claim me. If you are desperate and you're not smart enough to get the bag, flip the money, have options. If you stupid, don't claim me. If your IQ is low, please don't claim me. I teach women to be smart, not desperate. If you're desperate, don't claim me. Yes, I'm married. Been married for 17 years. And I'm here to tell you, after 17 years, he's still providing 100%. Why? Because he still loves me. Sprinkle, sprinkle. I think a lot of people are mad about that because they want to discredit my message. Well, why are you listening to someone that's not married or single? Ma'am, I've been married for 17 plus years. Okay. Sorry to disappoint y'all. James loves me very much. He protects and provides for me and the children, yes. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Get it together. He said, but marriage is also work. That's why they gotta like you way more. So it's less work for you. Y'all be doing too much and y'all be doing the most for the least. I'll keep telling y'all. Y'all be doing the most for the least. If your marriage is a lot of work, then you should have married somebody that likes you way more. Sprinkle, sprinkle.
And she ended up saying it was daddy.
I always say this on my channel. Don't tell people you got kids. That's the stupidest thing you can do because they start to treat you a certain way. And like I said, there's weirdos out there. Single moms need to stay quiet when they're dating. And they need to date for a long time until the man has fallen in love with them, gave them money, invested in them heavily. Then when she deems him worthy to be serious or exclusive, then she can tell him, there's something that I haven't told you yet. And he's going to be so into her and so in love with her, he's not going to care. He's going to be into her. He's going to be like, what is it? What is it? You know, don't tell me some strange thing. He's going to be all scared of some like bad news or something that he can't, escape from. And then all it is, oh, you have kids? Oh, well, that's okay. I still like you. I mean, I've gotten to know you. I've fallen in love with you. I want to, do this. I've spent all this money and invested on you. That's okay. And then you make sure that if this person is going to be in your life for a long period of time, that you understand if you're going to bring somebody around your kids, you got to get the background checks. You got to get all that stuff. And plus, if you have young kids, you really shouldn't be out there anyway trying to bring people around them. If that child is not old enough to fight or to tell somebody or to dial 911, you shouldn't be bringing any strangers, men or women or strangers around them anyway. I don't do that. I don't even let people babysit my kids. So.
All these relationship gurus hating on Sheraseven because Isis, the new trophy wife's husband, essayed his kids is absolutely ridiculous. There's a couple things going on here. Did she rush? Absolutely. Was she in a hurry? Yep. Did she miss all the red flags? Yep, you got it. Did she put her kids in danger? Yes, you're right again. However, her going after a provider isn't the thing that caused the essay. It's him being a predator. And I really think that we need to shift the blame from her to him. She already took responsibility. She already took her kids out of those situations, and she already recognized the thing that she did wrong, which was to be desperate. You know who else was desperate? Your mother. And she was desperate for free. She was desperate for poverty. And there's a lot of us that got touched by a broke man. So it has nothing to do with him being in a different economic status and everything to do with him being a predator. All these relationship gurus that are coming after Sheraseven are only coming after Sheraseven because she is the biggest and the baddest. They clearly have never fully watched any of her YouTube videos videos of her warning women against things like this. And this, there can only be one mindset, is driving me crazy. They want us to disregard what Shera says so that we can listen to them. And I'm frankly over it. Let's be very, very clear. It ain't a hate train if you could duck it.
Dating or marrying a financial provider man is dangerous because he will bring just the bare minimum to the table. A man that thinks all he has to do is provide money financially, provide for you financially, that man is dangerous to deal with. You should run away from such men, because if you decide to be with such men, you've accepted to shoulder the load in the marriage, to pull most of the weight in that marriage. That's not all. If that man is wealthy, he will most likely expect you to become a trophy woman for him, trophy wife for him. That would mean you losing your identity, your voice, and transforming yourself into someone else just to fit that picture he might have painted for the woman he wants in his life. It's very dangerous.
If we're going to be together and you are working, you've been working and you've been earning money for yourself, that you have to be responsible for this relationship and provide the same amount of money that I'm going to provide. I don't find this healthy. This is a lack of a masculine man, because a man is stripped of his power if he allows a woman to spend in the relationship. The only reason why men are men is because they protect and provide. If you don't provide, or if there's someone else providing, then you're not a man that you're supposed to be.
There are women out there that will turn around and tell a man that they require them to make at least minimum $300,000-400,000 a year. Mind you, the theory behind all this is that I look good, I am the prize, I'm arm candy, I'm the trophy wife, I am the table. Honey, with that theory, does that mean as the years go by, he doesn't require to make as much or spend as much as you? Because you're basically telling me you're like a car. You're gonna put miles, you're gonna get old, and at that point, maybe that man should look at the younger women that hold that value as a woman, because looks, according to you, are everything a man should look for. No, honey, there's so much more depth to a woman. Character, morals, how are you going to raise his children? How are you going to treat him? Are you going to bring him peace? Are you going to give him that nurture and care that a woman should give a man and her family? Men should provide. Men should take care of women, but not based off of your looks or your body.
We all heard both men speak about providing. That's the bare minimum a man can do, providing financially. There are other ways men are supposed to provide, but a lot of men shy away from that. They would rather do the easiest, which is to provide for a woman or for the family financially. A lot of people misunderstand it when they say a man is a provider. Being a provider cuts across a lot of things. It is not restricted to finance alone. As a woman, I've got my needs. So do other women. What a provider man means to me might not mean the same thing 100% to you, because as humans, our needs may differ. Based on our individual needs as women, we should look for men that can provide our needs, not just money alone. Let's hear more story on the trophy wife video, the new trophy wife video. Some people are of the opinion that she's aware of what the husband was about. They blamed her for neglecting her kids. They made reference to a certain video she made, and they could hear her kids crying in the background. She wasn't bothered about the cry. She was still focused on making videos and fixing her makeup. So because of that and other reasons, people drew conclusion. Let's watch this video.
I'm gonna shut this whole trophy wife situation down. Watch this.
Because I stayed in situations much longer than I had to because I had children in those situations. So I understand the struggle with that, definitely.
Ow. Ow.
You know, there's that saying, when you get sick and tired,
she didn't even
being sick and tired, that's when you'll make a change, and that's very true. So it's just all about
that baby
whenever you have the courage to do that.
And she don't care. But wait. Let it.
So everyone else is noisy in the background. I don't know how much you all can hear, but there's so many of us that This is like the
Ignore that noise, like how you do all the time, right? Ignore it. This woman knew. Y'all, I was right, but that's not it. If y'all need more evidence, if that's not enough, here we go. Let's get into it. Here's the husband. And I also got the court information about what happened. He's not in jail. He just can't see the children. But I'm going to get into that. More pics of the husband. Since she didn't want to post him, I'm posting him. This is the man who she says assaulted her daughters. 2, 4 years old. We don't know what he did to the sons, if he did anything. But he assaulted a 2 and a 4-year-old, his biological children. His name is Orinthio, but he goes by Jermaine. I think he worked in the military. He like an analyst. And y'all know what that means. Cybersecurity analyst. That means he know how to cover up when he looking up CP. That's what that means. So he was arrested for child abuse and domestic violence. He's been arrested for domestic violence. He got arrested in November of last year, I believe, for putting his hands on his wife, and she didn't leave him then, and she didn't leave him when he R-worded her 4 times before she even had these kids. This has been an ongoing problem, and while all of this was going on, she was making content. Literally, she was just repeating what Sheraseven said, but she wasn't living that. She never had a brain of her own. She just was repeating and regurgitating content. Y'all can't listen to everybody. But anyways, he shall not abuse, he shall not contact, he shall not go to the house, he has to leave the home, he has to leave the car, emergency family maintenance, he must surrender firearms and pay costs and additional provisions. He not in jail because she need the money. Like everybody was saying, pay costs. He's not in jail because she needs the money. Okay? This is more information one of my followers sent me. Paul screenshot it, found out. She failed to protect those kids. Yes, he's sick. Yes, he is a monster that she chose to have around her kids. It's not victim blaming. It's not victim blaming when it's in all of her videos. She was so busy selling y'all this dream life and trying to brainwash herself that she had it good, knowing that man was beating her up and assaulting her, hearing her kids scream. And let me tell you how tuned out she is, and I know she done heard them babies crying before and just ignored it. Talking about she went to sleep. You sat there and did your makeup. If I hear my baby say ow, I don't give a fuck. I'm jumping up. Fuck a video. If I hear her say ow again, I'm definitely getting up. But if I proceed to hear those owls followed by screaming, how could she edit and even upload something like that? You could see it in her face that she was going through it. And because she was pregnant and trapped again, she just didn't care at this point. She literally talking about, I don't let my daughters leave this house unless they're in bows and dresses. They're kids. What do they need dresses for? Let's be so fucking serious. They want to play. They want to play at the playground and be a regular kid. They don't want to be in the house being touched on by their father. Stupid. Something else, this weird ass hoe, like she just promoted a lot of dumb ass shit, which is why nobody has heard of her until now, because she wasn't never making sense. She says that if you're judging a man by his appearance or how tall he is or other factors outside of his money, I guess, judge him for nothing else except for how much money he got. But she says that you don't deserve the life that she has because you have the mindset of a child. She says that you should vet men. She says that you should walk away as soon as a man disrespect or try you. And she was making all of these videos while all of this was going on. And she tells y'all all this dumbass shit. But looks do matter. That's a 50-year-old ass man wanting to date you 20 years younger than him. That he like young girls. That's already number one. That's already number one. You know, if y'all don't date old men and you old enough to do it, leave the kids out of it, because they like, I'm 5'4". I weigh 100 pounds. That's it. That's all. And
you can head on to her channel to watch the rest of the video. It's quite a lengthy video. So what do you think? Do you think she knew all along? Do you think it's all pretense? She just came online to solicit for help? I don't know. I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. I'm not part of her family, but judging from what she said and the evidence she pulled out trying to prove a point, she makes a whole lot of sense, because this man has beaten her up before based on records. So that means she's aware. I'm not sure if she's aware of what the man has been doing to her kids, but she's aware of the kind of person that man is. Someone that raped her 4 times few months into their marriage. She's very much aware of what this man is capable of. So I don't think she's 100% innocent. That's what I think anyways. Here is another story, a similar story. Let's have a look.
My husband was sexually abusing our daughter. Here are some of the signs I noticed in her that led to me finding out. As we talk about this, I'll also tell you about common signs of sexual abuse that you can watch for in your own children, even if they aren't signs that I specifically saw in her. Number 1, keeping secrets or just not talking as much as usual. I definitely started noticing my daughter keeping secrets from me, as if her shame was increasing with things that wouldn't normally have been shameful before. But also, she was getting quieter and quieter and quieter, and she was getting more and more reserved. Sign number 2, not wanting to be left alone with certain people or seeming afraid of certain people. This is not a sign I saw in my daughter, but it is a sign that you should watch for in your own children. My daughter did not seem afraid of her father and didn't usually show signs of not wanting to be left alone with him. I do remember occasionally, if I was leaving for something that was more than a day, she did seem particularly clingy with me, but she didn't express a fear of being left alone with her father. Third, an increase in regressive behaviors or behaviors that just seem like they should be for younger kids. Thumb sucking, bedwetting, things like that. This wasn't a common occurrence with her, but it did occur more than I thought it should at her age. And it did have me kind of going, everything okay? Next, overly compliant behavior. A lot of times people think that a child who's being abused is going to act out and cause a bunch of trouble. And that can happen sometimes. But a lot of times what you also get is someone who is overly compliant, and that absolutely described my daughter. She was so compliant and so worried about being compliant that it often left me questioning what made her think she needed to be so compliant. Spending an unusual amount of time alone can be a sign, particularly if it's a change in behavior. This is not something I noticed in my daughter, but it is something that you could watch for in your own child. Trying to avoid removing clothing to change or bathe. Again, this isn't something I specifically noticed in my daughter, but could be something you notice in your child. Illness or health issues that don't make sense. For example, my daughter had frequent stomach aches and headaches, but nothing really seemed to help that, and nothing that I could see externally seemed to trigger that. Other health issues you might notice is frequent UTIs. That is unfortunately a big sign that I noticed in her. I was taking her to her doctor multiple times. She was getting UTIs, she was getting kidney infections. We were running tests and doing ultrasounds on her bladder and everything, trying to figure out what was going on. I do remember asking her pediatrician one time, like, is there any way that this could be a sign of abuse? And her pediatrician said, it's not likely. It's more likely going to be an anatomical issue or something like that. And so we continued to look at that route. Unfortunately, in my daughter's case, it was a sign of abuse. This isn't something that should cause you to panic if you see it in your child, but it's certainly something that you should pay attention to. Sexual knowledge or...
That's really sad. Very sad. It's heartbreaking. Wow. If you'd love to watch more of our video, because the video is quite lengthy, I just had to stop it there. Please head over to our channel to watch the rest of it. Let me speak more on the provider man mindset. In case you're out there looking for a man that will provide for you financially, you need to know this. If you've decided to date or marry a man that will provide for you financially 100%, just know that you've decided to handle things yourself. You've decided to provide for yourself, provide your needs yourself in these other ways, not financially, but in other ways. And these ways are the most important. You've decided to provide for yourself emotional support, mental support, spiritual support, because most provider men are absent in the lives of their wives or their children. They think about providing money alone. Marriage and relationships are way more than that. Being a trophy wife or getting married to a man that provides money alone, finances alone, you've decided to be the housewife. You've decided to be the only one parenting, the only one taking care of the chores of the house, aside the mental, spiritual, emotional aspect as well. If you'd love to watch more videos like this, click this video to watch the video of the trophy wife when she cried out and when she told us the full story. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.